This episode of the Pete the Planner Show is brought to you by myindiana529.com. In fact, today, as we gather here, it is May 29th, also known as 529, the namesake of the plan that will get your child to college. So go to myindiana529.com today and do those things. Speaking of those things, Kristen, Dame, let me rearrange you. Hold on. There we go. I like that better. Kristen, I told you yesterday in Slack, and I want to announce it to everyone here to put a little pressure on you. It's donkey time. I'm ready to buy you a donkey.
I know that you're ready. I called my person just this morning and said, I'm going to need you to get that other quote for a building because I need a home for this donkey.
Yes. Okay. Dame, you know, you're in a relationship with a wife, right?
Still.
Yes. And you know how like you'll want to do something, but then it will require her to do something. And then like your insistence on her getting something done impacts whether you get what you want to get done. And then vice versa. That flips and that whole dynamic exists.
Yes.
I'm inserting myself into Kristen's life with her friend.
You are.
And Kristen, I need to get this donkey.
I hear you. And I don't, here's the thing. I could take over this project, but you have to understand that growing up in a family that farms as a small boy, he like, this is the thing that you dream of, is like getting to do the things that you've seen your way. And he like has it all mapped out and knows what he wants to do. It's like, I don't want to take that from him. I could project manage this and it would be done. I am not a procrastinator like that. But it's not my building, really. It's his.
Hello, Quincy. Hello, Andy. Hello, Mary. Hello, Rev. And hello, Jenny and Rickswink. Can I come to your place and milk something?
No. I mean, you can, no. The cows aren't even here.
Dame, you got anything to milk at your place?
Just some cats.
Well, I'll wear gloves. So, Chris, I'm going to spend what, $700, $800 on a donkey?
I don't know how much you're going to spend on a donkey.
Okay, I'm going to buy a donkey. It'll be used.
They live a really long time. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully like a middle-aged, well-behaved donkey.
Okay, so I'm buying you a used donkey. How much will it cost you to prepare a place? Hello, Jason. For did Jason just add his credentials to his handle?
Yes.
Jason.
Oh, I like it.
I like it too. How much will it cost you for me to buy you a donkey is what I think everyone wants to know.
The preparation won't cost anything because the donkey will go with the cows. It will be how much, I don't know how much a donkey eats. So however much extra grain or hay or whatever.
Is your special friend on board with getting a donkey?
No, he does not want a donkey.
Wait a second.
He does not want a donkey, but I don't want one of the cows that's coming here. I don't want her here and she has to come here. So we all will have things that we don't want.
I'll say this, at least, I mean, you're not naming the donkey Pete, right?
I don't know. It might come with that name.
Oh, it's coming with that name, even though it's pre-owned. It's going to be Pete. And so if he's mad at this donkey, he's just mad at me and he's mad at me.
Indeed. Listen, he's known for a long time that if you moved me to a place where I could have more animals, we would start collecting them. So this was his own fault.
Good day, Caleb Spence. Okay. All right. You guys, can I just talk about, we're doing more on social, doing more short clips. Mm-hmm. Last week we talked about housing and again, we were kind of making the point that if you are a homeowner, one of the best ways to have a stable retirement and make it all go better is if you use your income and plan the term of your mortgage to have your mortgage paid off by the time you retire. That is the concept. Mm-hmm. And one of the comments we got this week might be the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I read it and I couldn't even click on it because I was just like, what? It was what? Go
I
ahead.
thought you weren't reading the comments.
It just popped up.
Sure.
I'm that age. It just pops up. I don't know how to get to it. I just see it. It was like, but what about the homeless? Was the comment. It's like this is ignoring.
Yeah. Doesn't help the homeless.
Doesn't help the homeless. And the person wasn't being funny. You could tell the person was like, no, you are not giving inclusive financial advice. So I want to say on record, and by the way, intern Lily, who is watching this right now, who will be on the show soon, we're indoctrinating her into the world of crazy here. Lily, do not clip this.
Please don't.
I think the unfortunate nature of the unhoused is that there's not long-term financial advice that's apropos to them, right? Like there is stability. There is sort of finding yourself out of the hole, so to speak. Hello, Brian Pinkins. Boy, you chose a weird time to come join the show today. But there's no advice that says you're currently without a home and here's how you retire successfully. That is, speaking of donkeys, an asinine way to look at financial planning. So people need to know that, right?
Yeah. It also seems like, generally speaking, people are hearing things that we just didn't say.
Dame,
For
why
the
did
record,
yeah.
none of us here is a financial advisor. I would just like to point that out. So there was no self-proclaiming to be one. I never said I was one.
Dame Andy makes a really good point of like, this is why she's not on social media. Why did I dip my toes back in the water here?
You thought it was a wonderful idea, and this was going to pan out very well.
Speaking of, let's dip our toe into the water of things we're saying that we're not saying this week. The topic is how to become a millionaire starting at various ages, starting in your 20s, your 30s, or your 40s. What I am not saying, clip this. Wait, do I know if I can clip this?
Jamie.
Jamie,
pull it up. Lily, clip this. What I'm not saying is that you're going to be a millionaire in your 20s, starting in your 20s. That's not what this show is about. I'm not even saying if you're in your 20s, how you're going to be a millionaire in your 30s. What I am saying is I will show you how you can be a millionaire in your 40s when you start in your 20s. But this show is not about living actively as a millionaire. It is about achieving a certain amount of money, which then provides stability. And I think that's a functional point which needs to get out there. Dame, are you tracking?
are you telling me that I'm going to have to live within my means in order to become a millionaire in the future?
Oh, don't clip that. Kristen, are we tracking, you and me?
We are. Unfortunately, I don't know that it's going to matter.
All right, everyone. I'm going to, at some point in time, put Kristen's personal email address up on the screen.
That's fine.
Really?
Go ahead.
All
I don't
right.
check it.
Oh, that's fair. Dame, anything you want to get out of the way before the circus begins?
We didn't have a vapor lock at 5, whatever it was today.
Yes, huh?
Did we?
I know.
I didn't hear it.
It was Pete. Pete just had stopped talking, so it was barely there. And then someone else started talking. That's the key, is you have to switch mics whenever that happens, I feel like.
I was just thinking, when have I ever stopped talking?
Mm.
Okay. Got to set up the timer and we'll get crack-a-lackin'. That's what the kids say.
Doubtful.
I got surd again at Pilates yesterday morning.
So good for you.
My dad watches your show.
No, this young woman walks in and there was a Pilates mat down in front of me. And she goes, "Sir, is anyone there? Can someone going to take that spot?" And it's just ruined my day.
Are you going to start using your old man voice when you're in there when somebody says sir and just roll into it?
No, she was trying to be polite.
To the elder gentleman.
No, just in general.
I would also like to note, as you all saw, we got an email from a gentleman who reminded me that I represent his views. Now,
yeah.
The Lorax speaks for the trees. Chris Denary speaks for the Indiana Pacers. And I am the voice of octogenarians. An 80-something old listener said he agrees with a lot of my perspectives, and I shared that with my life partner, my wife, and she said, "Yeah, that's why it's no fun to be married to." So, anywho, enough of that. In 3, 2, 1. This week on the Pete the Planner Show, we answer your money questions. Here's how the show works. You email us, askpete@petetheplanner.com. That's askpete@petetheplanner.com. And here's what will happen. If you do, in fact, send us an email, and it is not to ask us to be part of an email chain, we may read that question on the air and answer that question becomes the show. This week, we said no to all the emails, and it's my topic. And the topic is, so you want to be a millionaire. So this show today is dedicated to tell you how to become a millionaire, whether you're starting in your 20s, your 30s, or your 40s. Speaking of 40s, Kristen Elanius, Damian Dunn joins us. Dame, hello.
Hello.
Kristen, how are you?
Doing great, thanks.
Okay. Do either of you want to offer a radio disclaimer here before we get started about we are going to talk about how to become a millionaire today? Does anyone want to get something out there just so it doesn't get weird?
Other than our general disclosure, which is always, this is not specific investment advice, but I don't know that that's applicable here.
Dame, I believe everyone wants to be a millionaire.
Okay. But I think it's fair.
And I believe most people hate billionaires.
Also fair.
So today, there's no tricks to this, but it is a system. And I think like most financial schemes, and I say that in the British sense, like mispronouncing aluminium, that it is simple in nature, but complicated to execute on because of life happening around it. But today we're still giving the structure. Fair to you, sir?
Yeah, I think that's entirely fair. What we're talking about is not going to be super complicated, but it's not easy either.
So how we're going to talk about how much to invest, how long it takes, what income levels help with this, what lifestyle choices matter the most, and there's no day trading, no crypto, no Kalshi, no poly market, no 7 passive income streams, no hashtag hustle crew, no my 5 to 9 after my 9 to 5. I don't even know what that is. Kristen got upset. Kristen, do you make those videos?
I don't. But it's just funny. Yes, I don't. Thank you.
Dane, do you know what that is?
I have a good idea of what that is, but I mean, what you're describing, it doesn't sound exciting. Sounds kind of boring, Pete.
Dame, let's get started. Grab a 22-year-old, Dame, mentally, of course.
Okay.
Kristen, do what you like. A 22-year-old, what does it take to turn that person into a millionaire? Now, here's what often happens when you talk to a 22 about becoming a millionaire is they make an assumption as to when they want to become a millionaire, and then that's what sort of starts to get in the way, Dame. For a 22-year-old to eventually have any level of financial stability, the fact of the math says they actually have to be a millionaire.
Long term.
Yeah, right.
Yes. Yeah.
Kristen, I think that's like the operative point of this entire show is what I'm arguing. If you're at least in your 20s and your 30s, you absolutely have no choice but to become a millionaire if you want to be financially viable.
That's tough.
No, I'm going to say it again because you got upset. If you're in your 20s or 30s, you have no choice but to become a millionaire.
But then what does that, okay, I might not disagree with you in principle, but the absolute there, if someone's not on track to be a millionaire, that doesn't mean that we just like throw in the towel entirely.
That's not what I said.
I know, but I imagine that's what someone just heard.
I'm in this stage of my life, Dame, where the yeah buts, I'm kind of done with them. You know what I mean?
Yes, very much so.
Because we're
But-
old men.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know that I agree that someone has to be a millionaire. And the reason for that is because we see it every day. People are not. And I'm not saying that it works out because they plan for it, but it does work out.
Gosh, when do you run out of math during the week? Is it like I'm Wednesday afternoons, but I have more math this week because it's a 4-day work week. But when do you run out, Kristen?
Before today. Yeah.
Clearly, because Dame, someone in their 50s or 60s, 100% can retire without being a millionaire.
Correct.
Someone who's 50 or 60 years old in the year 2026 after death. If you are in your 20s or 30s, you will not be able to retire sustainably without being a millionaire. Take it to the bank. You can't.
Simple matter of inflation.
You just can't do it.
Can't do it.
Okay.
Oh, don't use that tone. Gosh, that felt like I was at home. All right. The simplest ways. You start your career at 22. And if for some way, and this might be the least viable thing I say, Dame, do you have an insect flying around you?
It is a bee, and I'm not real excited about it.
Oh, no.
If you get stung, I just want to, I mean, I know we're in the radio. If you get stung, will you die?
I guess we'll find out.
I would. I would. I would. Everyone's sending me bees now. The least viable thing I'm going to say today is that a person would be able to make these contributions until they're 65, meaning that I don't know for a 22-year-old if a 43-year career is going to be a thing. As much as I know that you have to be a millionaire, I also don't know if a 43-year career will be a thing for 22-year-olds.
What?
What don't you understand about that?
Like, you think it might be shorter than that?
I don't know, because here's my frame of reference. Dame, to be unemployed in your 50s in 2026 is incredibly challenging.
Yes.
And at one point in time, that age was to be unemployed at 58 is challenging. But to be unemployed at 55 was not, because you could still find employment. Over the last 10 years, what has happened, Kristen, in my anecdotal observation, is that it is getting harder to be unemployed earlier than it was in previous years. So that is to say 43 years from now or 30 years from now, I think it's arguable with AI and everything else that a person who finds themselves unemployed at 49 is going to have a hard time getting back in the workforce, not to distract us from the topic today.
Depending on what their profession is.
I should probably get to the numbers. Put $205 a month away. That's it. 205. That's it. 205. And when you're 65 years old at an 8% rate of return, you will be a millionaire. Now, if you're hearing this and you're going, I can't do that, you're going to have to find a way to do that. If you're hearing that and you go, well, that's easy, don't stop there. In most cases, your employer alone will be putting away $205 a month for you. You know? So that is to say, if you do that, they do that at 410, you're talking about having $2 million by the time you're in your 60s. I think being a millionaire when you start in your 20s is incredibly easy. And I think the big topic is, what would it take to do it by the time you're 40? Kristen, when you think about that, reasonable goal with 20 seconds left before I blow through the break, and then we'll come back and talk about it after the break as my voice continues to rise like this?
I do not think that that's reasonable.
Oh, well, we will debate that. Dame, is it reasonable?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. 2-on-1 after the break, right here on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner.
Kids have a way of testing their futures early. Presentations to their stuffed animals, model rockets built out of spare parts from the garage, or turning the living room into their personal training academy. Help them reach their potential with an Indiana 529 education savings plan. With flexible investment options, tax advantages, and a convenient mobile app, saving is at your fingertips. Visit myindiana529.com and start with just $10. Read the disclosure booklet carefully before investing.
I shared my son's 529 balance with him last Saturday morning. And then he went around the rest of the weekend just telling anyone who would listen how much money he had.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a mistake.
That was a choice. Yeah.
It's pretty much the main reason I haven't told my son how much he's got in his 529.
My daughter gets home from work and I'm somewhere, and then she comes stomping upstairs. And he said that he's got this much money. It was not for college.
Yeah.
Just he has that much money. Where do you get that? I'm like, what world are you believing this person? Anyway,
Can I excuse myself for a minute and try and go take care of this issue?
If you have to go to the restroom, go to the restroom. Like
That's
what
all
I've
I'm
done
talking
before.
But I'm not going to say what I'm going to do in case there's anybody listening to the live stream. Might be angry.
Gail will not
Sorry,
like that.
Gail.
Sorry, Gail.
Hang on.
All right, kill the camera before you kill the bee.
He's
If you
not
could kill the
going to.
mic too, in case it stings you, and then he'll yell.
He can't hear.
Oh,
You
no.
mute him.
Oh boy, this is a problem.
Kick him off stage.
All right, I've just muted him. Okay,
Okay.
because I don't need to do editing after the show today. Yes.
I am this show. I don't know if you guys are really out of touch or if I'm just not as smart as I think that I am, but we just don't agree, Peter.
No, that's okay. It's possible I'm out of touch. What part so far do we not agree with?
I mean, I agree with the math. You can't, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with the exact amount that you would need. Like, I think it's cute to say, like, yeah, you need $1 million and it's a fun placeholder. But the amount of money that it takes to get there, I think $200 a month is a lot of money for a 22-year-old. For context, I mean, 22-year-old Kristen was literally clipping coupons to spend $50 a week at the grocery store. Like, I don't think I could have done it.
Yeah, I think. Oh, I'm going to unmute Dame. Dame, we muted you. Oh, he can't even.
He
Still
can't hear
us.
you.
Dame, put your ears in, old man. We muted you in case you got stung and yelled some things.
I appreciate that. There's been a wrinkle to the situation.
Oh, because there's more than one.
Correct.
Yeah, they're in the
So-
wall.
Oh,
They're in the
God.
wall.
Nightmare unlocked. Wait, why would you say that to someone?
Because it's real. It's true.
Anyway, we'll see what happens.
That's like if you have a mouse in your house, there's not one mouse.
Exactly.
It's like Ratatouille. Dame, Kristen's button us.
I knew it.
Kristen, you can punt.
Okay.
What was your income at age 22?
Oh, you've asked me this and I didn't remember exactly, so I gave you a guesstimate, but I want to say it was low 40s.
Okay. And you don't, and in what you said when Dame was killing the crops was, Dame thinks there's going to be no pollination now.
Indeed.
Dame, she was saying that she could not have set aside $205 a month at age 22. And that's so to me, and again, Chris and I, we are exchanging here. That's the but of like, okay, I hear you, but what is the long-term alternative for the problem which must be solved, which is financial stability?
But that's where I think the challenge lies, is that I knew, because I had the background, because it's what I went to school for, I knew that that was not a long-term option. And I had to figure out as soon as possible a way to get myself to a place where I could, and knew that there would be some making up that I had to do for it in my mid-20s. Like, that's the part I think is lost, is you hear as a 22-year-old, you need to save this. You don't feel like it's sustainable. And then it shouldn't be this way. But for many, I think the thought process is, well, I can't do that. What's the point? And I'm so glad that we're doing this between.
So are you? I think I'm picking up what you're putting down, and it's you don't think for a 22-year-old this is necessarily reasonable, but for a 28-year-old it might become more feasible.
Yes, but am I allowed to do a yes, but to the yes?
At what age, Kristen, do you think this becomes feasible?
That's a good question.
I don't think it's about that. I think the danger is the gap between when it is and isn't, whether that's 28, whether it's 30, whatever age, is that the life that happens between that is what then makes it impossible or feel impossible, because you add the car payment, you add the house payment, you add those things, and that discretionary income goes. And that's why I know that the saving muscle is so important. But when someone literally can't do it, you didn't have the opportunity to practice that, and then life happened to you.
We don't disagree about this, and because you're right, you are 100% right. Here's where I don't know. Do I deviate? Am I just an alternate universe, which arguably is your point? I'm not on Earth. Two things. Number one, I think a 22-year-old in the year 2026 has an incredibly difficult time being economically viable compared to someone who was 22, 40 years ago.
Yes.
I think it stinks. If you live in the world of fair and unfair, it is unfair, wildly unfair. But what are you going to do about it? You can't just go, this is unfair, and then inaction or the inability to do that makes it worse. So that's where I end up hitting a wall, is like, I hear you going, couldn't do it. Now you have a background, you have figured it out. And I guess the whole point of us getting to people in their 30s here shortly is that, all right, well, great. You can't do it at 22. Kristen, you, Dame, and I agree. The world agrees. What does 30 look like? And what I hope is we don't find ourselves in, well, I can't do that either.
Well, there will be people who do say that, but I'm saying I have a feeling it's more viable in your 30s, I think is the word that you used. And I think the other challenge that exists here is when we're saying you have to be a millionaire, whatever that dollar value is in today. I think Jason Brown in our comments said that's $450 today. The disconnect there is we see people around us every single day that aren't retiring with $450,000. So I empathize with the challenge of, why do I have to do this? Because I know that other people aren't doing it, and it seems like it's working out okay.
They're retiring with $450,000, but they are not necessarily having a successful retirement. Like, they're activating retirement with $450,000. I think it is very difficult to have a successful long retirement with $450,000. I think you could still do it. It's getting harder.
Sure.
Okay, boy, the show between the show. And by the way, I gotta run today, quick. So we gotta keep.
Oh, great.
3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show, the radio show that's a podcast, and a podcast that's a radio show. This week we're talking about what it takes to become a millionaire in your 20s, in your 30s, and your 40s. And by in your 20s, in your 30s, and in your 40s, I mean by starting your investment plan in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily mean achieving millionaire status in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. Before the break, we said at age 22, if you set aside $205 American dollars a month, $205, you will the math suggests you will be a millionaire at age 65. Kristen suggested that is difficult. I understand. But Kristen, you know what's even more difficult is, let's say you're on that grind, hashtag let's go, and you want to be a millionaire by the time you're 40.
Oof.
$2,172 a month starting at age 22. $2,172 a month. Dame, the irony of that number is it's pretty darn close to a 401k max.
Really? Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Now, obviously, if you're putting in a 401k, it might present some problems for what you're planning on doing with that $1 million, but that's beyond the scope of what we're talking about today. Man, if we thought $205 might be tough for some 22-year-olds, $2,000 is probably going to be everything that they have, or definitely feel like everything they've got on a month-to-month basis. So, good information.
I think. You know what element we didn't talk about here is we've been insinuating a person is an individual, or the entity is an individual as opposed to a household, right? Because Kristen, to your point during the break of like, what is it to retire in 2026 and have a certain amount of money? It's the household that has that money, not necessarily the individual. So that's to say, not that people couple off at 22 in the year 2026, but if they did, could they collectively save $205 a month? It is more realistic if for some reason, if they did couple up at 22 in the year 2026, that they could somehow, some way do $2,172 a month. But that is what, 3% of the population, maybe, without a jump shot?
It's definitely not a large part of the population, of course, but also we also have to consider the number of 22-year-olds that would even be interested in this path. Like, that's also going to be really small. And if someone aspires to be a millionaire by 40, they are going to be the type of person who's chasing the extra dollar, who has the 5 to 9 after the 9 to 5.
Did some quick Googling, and it says that the average starting income for a 22-year-old college graduate, $55,000.
In 2026?
25.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. So the 40 status is rough, but the 65 status is necessary. You guys, here's where I think, if I'm thinking and looking at pictures of myself with hair and thinner and very stylish clothes from 20 some years ago, what I would scream to myself is that your biggest asset in your 20s isn't income. It is time. And the more time you waste on not having money set aside, you are wasting your 20s. You are wasting your 20s if you don't leverage time. If you think your income is what provides this lifestyle, it can be, but you're missing the boat. It's the time that money gets to work. And I think that brings us to our 30s. So let's move to age 32. This is much closer to Dame's age. Chris, at one point you were 32.
I think I might be.
Okay, look, that's what I'm saying.
I think.
Kristen, okay. $477 a month to get to $1 million by age 65 if you're starting from scratch. You're starting from scratch. What do you think?
Why? Okay, maybe I'm just losing my mind. Why do I feel like that seems so much more realistic? You guys think I'm crazy?
I don't feel like we have to name call. But Kristen, and I have a list of 30 people of the greatest people in the world. And then I have another list. And on that list is you.
Great.
I don't understand how you think that's more reasonable.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like, maybe it's the bias of, I feel like maybe the two of you have your bias about how a 22-year-old might feel. Maybe because this is me. Maybe I have, there certainly could be bias here. I don't know. It just seems so much more reasonable.
Kristen, think about yourself at 22.
Right.
Did you have more responsibilities then or now?
I've always intentionally given myself a lot of responsibility, but I would say my responsibilities now are much higher stakes.
How about financial responsibilities then versus now?
I mean, other than my child,
Boy,
I don't.
it sounds a lot stammering there, Pete. I'm not sure she's going to come up with a good answer to refute this because $500 a month. Let's just call it $500 versus $200. That's a significant difference when your financial responsibilities are likely significantly more than they were in your 20s, early 20s especially.
Kristen, were you saving $205 a month at 22?
Ooh,
No.
good question. Really?
I'm not good at math. Probably not.
Dame, were you?
That was decades ago, Peter.
Peter? What? Why? What did I do to deserve that?
It would have been close.
I think I was too. But also what is occurring to me, and I know not the point of this segment, is like, does Kristen think that with all of these responsibilities that she can actually handle me purchasing a donkey for her?
I told you I actually, other than Maggie, I mean, a lot of things are discretionary in my life.
Like, if I'm buying you a donkey, you better save for its retirement. Okay, so $477 a month. And here's the weird thing, and I don't have the math for you. Let's say all you did was put away $100 a month. Like maybe all you could do at 22 is 100. By the time you're 32, you should be able to crank it up to 477. And again, if you go back to your employer is putting in, let's say your employers, you make 50 grand, they're putting in 4%, that's $2,000. Then you just have to do the rest. Like, that's the other part of this, is finding a job that has a 401k match that does half the work for you.
I think that's the key, is I did not have that. So maybe that's why I feel like this is so out of reach.
The yeah buts get pretty saucy then, depending on when you have kids, though, because if you had kids in your early 20s and you're 32, I think it's a lot harder to, out of thin air, come up with $477 than it was to Dame's point, to find $205 when you got no kid. All right. Are we tracking, Dame? Like, I mean, 477. That is, if you're making, what do you think the average 32-year-old's making in this country?
More than 55.
Let's
65?
say 65 for giggles.
Okay.
Okay. That's less than 10%. And if 4% of that is coming from your employer, like, again, like I think almost $3,000 is coming from your employer, 2,700 or whatever it is. And so then the rest of that you can do yourself. All right, coming up after the break. What if, I do mean if, you wait until your 40s to start saving? How much will you need to set aside to become a millionaire? All of this is next on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. Isn't, Kristen, it is so interesting of how 477 feels reasonable and 205 doesn't. Like, and I don't mean that in a critical sense. I have things like that too, where something on paper which looks horribly harder seems easier.
I really do think there's a lot of, I don't think I know that my personal experience, there's bias there. Like I just shared, I had kind of forgotten that, like, well, I did have a match, but it was a crazy vesting schedule. So like I essentially didn't. And so it's like, I think for me, just like the way that my life financially and in my immediate circle has gone financially, that the 477 seems more reasonable. But the key there is, if the 200 doesn't, you still have to contribute something. You do the auto enroll and you automatically increase by 1% every year to get you there. Like, it's not perfect, but it still flexes that saving muscle. It doesn't mean that you can be completely absent. Like, you can't not save.
Dame, I was talking to a yonker the other day. As you know from standardized tests from the past, a yonker is?
From Yonkton?
No, a young man. Did you not have a wuzzle is to mix, a baloo is a bear, a yonker is a young man? Did you not take the standardized test of the 80s like I did?
I didn't take Latin, Pete.
Pal, that was good. For those in the chat who are of my age, you took those standardized tests where you just had to say this word is this word. Anyway, I was speaking to a yonker. Oh, there we go, Kat. Kat, your wife is on my team. Game, first time ever. Does she ever agree with me?
Probably usually.
Apparently, she just did.
But the thing is, I don't think she does. Here's why. Dame and I always agree.
Yeah, well, there's that.
Oh boy. Thanks, Cass. When someone like her agrees with you, it's gotta feel good, Dame.
I wouldn't know.
Okay. Anyway, I was talking to a young man the other day, and the person had taken a job, nice, well-paying job, good pay, high paying. Well, I don't know what you say. Got there and realized there was no 401k match.
Dude.
Oh,
Like, I feel like every decade or so, we have to reset and shake people a little bit and say, hey, when you're evaluating jobs, the 401k match matters a lot. A lot.
yeah, I mean, it'd be really interesting if we could have taken a separate look at this and had the time to do it. The difference between just your contributions and an employer match.
Oh, I can do that for next week. I'll put it out in our newsletter. Find me on my Discord. I don't have any of that.
Patreon.
Stuff.
We'll make
Patreon
a social on that.
Yeah, it's a special members
only live stream.
How much do you think I'd have to pay people to be members of our website?
It's an excellent question.
There's a local university that at one point in time, I know their match, their deposit in the 401k for people was 10% of their income.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
And instant millionaire. And by instant, I mean people don't have to do anything to become a millionaire at that point.
Just keep working.
Just don't lose your job. Don't steal paper clips. Do you feel like paperclip sales have fallen off in the digital era?
Yeah, I have to.
I gotta think so, right? But now we use all that wire for microchips. I know how the world works. Okay, let's go in 3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show, the show for technology and money. Talking about how to become a millionaire. Do you have to sit across from Regis Philbin in his monochromatic shirt and tie combo and answer trivia questions and phone in your middle school girlfriend at home, seeing if she can help you say who hit the most home runs for the Anaheim Angels in the 1980s? No, you just have to save money. I'm sorry.
I have no words.
I don't know what just happened. Okay, so if you want to start trying to be a millionaire, you have to start saving $205 a month at 8% rate of return, starting at age 22, to be a millionaire by the time you're 65. If you wanted to wait until you're 32, when maybe midsection's getting a little pudgier, you have to save $477. And at age 42, Kristen, what do you think it is?
I know it's.
Yeah, I sent you the outline.
Yeah, I do know. If I hadn't looked, I would have said double it and give it to the next person. So just under $1,000.
Ah, damn, it is $1,117. Okay, so let's check in. How's it feel, Kristen? I know you were a long way away from your 40s.
Oh, thank you.
And Dame and I are almost a long way away from our 40s as well.
Yeah.
How does a $1,117 hit you as feasible or affordable?
Neither. We went from me feeling like 477 was like a dart on the board, like yeah, sure, to this being like there's no chance.
I have a question. I just sometimes I kind of half put you on the spot, but I feel like this question would put you on the spot. So don't say anything. I'll just ask it to Dame. Dame, when you were 42, your household was saving $1,117 a month.
Yes.
When you were 32, maybe you were as well, but did it feel like you'd be able to save more, the money you're saving now when you were 42?
No.
Okay, see, I think it's my point with Kristen. I think that by the time you get here in this lovely decade, you will be blowing these numbers out of the water if you aren't already.
I don't know that I disagree with that. I think I'm trying really hard to like think for the everyman. And that's where I said maybe my age bias of like being the age of the last segment comes in. But when I'm thinking about the everyman, it's something about the comma, I think. There's something in the psychology of you added the comma and now it feels like it's totally unreachable.
I mean,
Dame, if people want to get to the two comma club, they gotta do this.
indeed. I mean, I don't. Is it the comma? I mean, because if the number would have been like $973,
Ugh.
that's still a big number.
I know that it's still a big number. I think that that's where like the psychological barrier is for me.
Okay, so boy, you guys know when you hear that sound, it's gonna be bad. I think about how much money my household saves every month in any capacity. Okay, it doesn't feel like I save that amount of money, and when I look at that dollar amount or I say that dollar amount, it seems like a lot of money, but it doesn't feel like, because I never see it, which is kind of the whole point of this thing of like, if you're 22, you just got out of school, your first job, or you get your first paycheck, the 205 comes out, you don't even know any different. At this point, I've been numbed to the fact that all this money comes out. I don't even know, and I don't care, and it doesn't feel like I'm missing all this money. I'm just dealing with whatever I got.
I think that's one of the best points, is that once you start the process of saving, it becomes so much easier to increase the amount of savings because you don't feel it's easier to ignore the incremental difference in that increase in savings versus that initial bite of, hey, you're all of a sudden you're going to do without this much money in a paycheck. Whereas if you start that really, really early, cranking it up a little bit is way more achievable in my opinion.
I think it's just as much about, if we go back to the psychology of like the 22-year-old, when you were 22, thinking about being 65 was just this thing that you couldn't even wrap your head around because it's so far in the future. I also think, I believe this to be true, that it's a function of I have to part with that money. And the idea is that I'm not going to be able to access it for decades. I also think that's a challenge when you're in your 20s, even in your 30s, to say, yeah, but 10 years from now, me might have might have an immediate need for this. And now I've lost access to it.
I think something along the lines of not touching it for decades. I think this is where the millionaire sort of fallacy gets super weird, is right. If you think about being a millionaire, if you have a desire to be so, or you want to live the lifestyle of a millionaire, in order to be a millionaire, you can't actually live like a millionaire. You know, and I mean that I'm not, who was it, Thomas, who wrote the book Millionaire Next Door? Anyway, stealing the thought. That's the toughest part of like Instagram today or any social media, is you see people who are living an opulent life and you think, I want to live that opulent life. But those people, in some cases, because of their income or unique career, maybe they are a millionaire. But if you try to replicate that lifestyle, you will yourself never have financial stability, because the resources that were needed to stack those dollars are being spent on other things, which brings us to age 52. 4,000, Thomas Stanley. Thank you, Andy, listener of the year. $4,150 a month. $4,150 a month at age 52 to be a millionaire at age 65. And here's the only way I can anchor this thought, Kristen. 2 working people, household income of $150,000, $5,000 a year. Not that bad.
A month.
I mean, $5,000 a month ain't that.
Is it?
I mean,
because they also, if they've waited, we also told them they have to have their house paid off. They also can't be funding their kids' college, which they may not have been saving for if that's something they want to. And those Parent Plus loans, they're coming for them. Like, in a vacuum, but the reality is someone who waited till that point to save isn't going to have that discretionary income. And you want to talk about breaking dependence on income and the psychology, that's not happening at
good
this
point.
age.
Yeah, Dame, I think that's the operative point of this entire show today is, let's say you can't do 205 at 22. First off, fight and scrap to do it. But if you can't do it, don't do nothing. It's not a binary. Do something. Because then that 477 that you would have to do at 32 is not 477. It's 331. And then just do what you can, because then eventually you'll get there, because the point is time. The show is about time today. I hope that's not lost. I also think I am turned into a heinously old man in the last 3 weeks. I get how hard this is to do. The alternative is worse. And that's where that keeps getting lost. All the yeah buts that I get on social media around stuff like this, I hear you, and I'm sorry, and I'm not being callous. The alternative is worse. And that's the hard part. So here's what we're going to do. We're all going to calm down. Kristen's going to recharge her calculator. Dame is going to make sure he doesn't get stung by the colony of bees that live within the walls of his broadcast area. And I'm going to take a breath. We're going to come back with the biggest waste of money of the week. And there's been some doozy news stories this week. Will Dame bring up the EV Ferrari first, or will I? All of that is next on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. I just did.
It's fair.
I was going to do his biggest waste of money of the week, but you already know what it costs. And so I wasn't going to do it. Kristen, do you know what the EV Ferrari costs?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I don't know what anything costs.
Yeah,
The Luce.
The Luce. So as we know, EVs help us save money on gas by just making a small investment in an alternative way to power the car. So the Ferrari is $650,000. And so that way you can save money on fuel.
I mean, gas is really expensive, so
And
it feels like a good trade.
Ugly.
It is ugly. It makes me look like Jessica Alba.
A gas-powered Ferrari. Makes you look like a gas-powered Ferrari.
It does. That Jessica Alba poll was a little creepy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Gosh, why was that at the tip of my brain? What's wrong with me? Sorry, honey.
She doesn't watch. It's okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. I was talking to Dame. All right.
Wait till that makes it to socials.
No. Hey, Lily, don't clip that. Also, don't Google Jessica Alba, because it's like you don't know who she is. She's also in her 40s, right? Now I'm Googling Jessica
probably.
Alba. All right, she's got to be
I have no frame of reference. I don't watch movies.
45. She's close to our age.
Basically our age.
She looks 25 years younger than us. 25 years younger than us. What? Anyway. 3, 2, 1. This week's biggest waste of money of the week, right here on the Pete the Planner Show, is the Immortal Chamber Recovery Pod. Biohacking has largely been a sport of stacking individual methods and devices. One for red light, one for PEMF, one for breath work, etc. The Immortal Chamber integrates all of these approaches in a single pod, including full body red and near infrared, photobiomodulation, multi-wave pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, vibroacoustics with custom Immortal composed soundscapes, guided breath work, molecular hydrogen delivered through a nasal cannula. Whew.
Time out.
That's so much.
It was a lot.
I blew it at cannula. Anyway, the reclined bed geometry is drawn from NASA's zero gravity positioning research, and a motorized lid raises and lowers automatically for easy entry. Sessions run 15 to 60 minutes, and the 700-pound unit, same, arrives in 3 pieces from Immortal's team, and it assembles it on site. Designed to look like a lightning bolt through a block, it fits through a standard doorway and does more in 30 minutes than most wellness routines do in a week. All right. Dame's a big wellness guy. He raises local honey.
Indeed.
The sweet sound of laughter. Kristen, how much does the Immortal Chamber Recovery Pod cost?
So red light therapy ranges so much in price. That's why I feel like this is a difficult one to guess. But based on the copy, I think this contraption is 22 grand.
Kristen, do you have a red light mask?
I don't.
Oh gosh, I just want to imagine you running around with a donkey and a red light mask. Dane, you? Not do you have a red light mask? What do you think of this cost?
I mean, I think Kristen's on the right track, but since this is a luxury healthcare product, I think you got to double that number. I'm going to say 50 grand.
$159,500.
Huh.
Dame, what's in the red light this week?
Robinhood just announced something that feels either incredibly futuristic or like the opening scene of a documentary about the collapse of civilization. They're rolling out what they're calling agentic trading. Agentic trading, which is basically letting AI bots manage parts of your investing for you, not research investing for you, actually make trades. So now instead of panic buying meme stocks yourself at 2 a.m., you can apparently automate the bad decisions. Robinhood says users can connect AI tools like Claude or Cursor to their accounts and give them instructions like reviewing portfolio risk, building trading strategies, or even buying oversold stocks automatically. Somehow, Pete, it's not the weirdest part of what's going on with Robinhood. They're also launching an AI-powered credit card assistant that can monitor discounts, book restaurant reservations, and make purchases on your behalf for any occasion. Because apparently we looked at identity theft and said, you know what this needs? More automation. More automation. Now, AI can absolutely help with research and organization, but there's a very big difference between asking ChatGPT for what a dividend is and giving a robot permission to go shopping while you're microwaving leftovers. Still, Robinhood stock went up after the announcement. So investors are clearly excited, or the AI robots just started buying the stock themselves.
I'm going to regret what I'm about to say.
Excellent.
I think having a bot do your trading on Robinhood is probably doing better than doing the trading yourself on Robinhood.
Yeah, but isn't the idea that you have to tell it what you want, which I feel like is the dangerous part?
I want 38% returns in the next month.
Easy.
I mean, look, I've heard of worse ideas. I mean, it's not great, but it's not the worst.
I mean, is it just kind of a junior version of like Betterment and Robo Advisor?
Yeah, that's interesting because that's really interesting. I think it's the day trading aspect of it that makes it
correct
different.
Because there would be no point in using this for the long term. You buy the index funds and you set it and you forget it. This is for the person who thinks that they're a day trader or watched some class online and now thinks that they know how to day trade. It's a totally different user buyer than that.
I mean, guys, sometimes I'll grab my portfolio and I will take the allocation and I will pop it through AI and say, what do you think, Sally? It's Lois, but what do you think, Lois? And then I get recommendations. I've acted on some of those recommendations, and those recommendations have been pretty good.
Interesting.
I don't know why I'm publicly admitting this. What else is in the news?
Wall Street is once again doing what Wall Street does best, confidently predicting the future immediately after being wrong about the past. Goldman Sachs now says the S&P 500 could hit 8,000 by the end of the year, which would be another solid jump from here. They're joining Morgan Stanley and Deutsche Bank in the everything's probably fine camp.
Our UPS guy is amazing. He comes in here every day and drops off pens and chapstick and posters. I don't know what we buy here as a company, but he delivers them in brown boxes that match his shorts. Not that I'm looking at his legs. Anyway, the other day he said, "Pete, come here." He grabbed me. He took out his AirPod because he was listening to Fresh Beats. And he said, "I got out of the market in October. I have not gotten back in, but it just keeps going up. I don't know what to do." And he's like, "When do I get back in?" I was like, "Brother, I do not know what is going on because it is so wild how much the market is going up. And I honestly can't figure out why. And so it makes me nervous." Dame, are your nerves cracking about how high the market is going?
Not really, because I expect it to come down
Sure.
at some point. So it's just kind of a waiting game. How high is it going to go before it comes spiraling back? And I don't know when that day is going to be, but I'm very honest with myself that I know my portfolio is going to look significantly different than it does right now in an undetermined amount of time.
That's so real because there's this number. I don't know about you guys, but like when you log in to your account, there's like a number that I'm chasing and it's getting closer every day.
$1 million.
And it's like, is the market going to let me have this number or will it pull back before I have this number? It's this fun little anxiety game we play about once a week. And I'm having a really good time right now.
Kristen, wonder if all three of us do that. Because I have a number that I'm waiting for it to get. Dame, do you too?
I do.
Yeah.
Just for what it's worth, mine is random. It's not even round. It's just sort of a dumb random number. You know, that has no. I haven't even done the percentage increase that it would take. It just seems like, well, that'd be neat. I don't even know what it represents. It's just a number.
It's just a number. It's just a number.
Is yours at least round or meaningful, Kristen?
Mine is round.
Okay.
It is, but we're getting there.
Dame?
Yeah, it's round.
What else is in the news? One last story.
One of the stranger stories of the week, if not the year, proposal to put President Trump's face on a brand new $250 bill. Yeah, 250, not a typo. According to reports, Treasury officials have been discussing the idea as part of the nation's 250th anniversary celebration. There are problems, like the current federal law not allowing it because nobody living is supposed to be on a currency.
Oh.
Can I just say I think a $250 bill is interesting? And I'll just leave it at that. I think it's interesting, despite the fact that we're kind of moving to be a cashless society. It's sort of a novelty. Now, who's on it is a completely different thing. Anyway, I don't want to go down that road. Dame, are you baiting me?
Maybe.
I don't do that anymore. I'm out. So anyway, hey everybody, this was fun. If you missed any of the show of how to become a millionaire at some point, go to Pete the Planner podcast and listen to us do this. Until then, I'm sending you good vibes because good vibes are all that's in the budget. I'm Pete the Planner, and this was and is and always will be, until we're canceled, the Pete the Planner show. That's the truth.
That's the truth.
I thought about the other day, I was like, let's say we get canceled on the radio, which will happen. We either get fired or we quit, whatever. We got to change the format of the podcast.
Right.
The podcast is bigger than the radio show.
Yeah, no segments at that point. So
I know, but just then that could get loose.
Yeah. You don't say. We can run pretty far in 9 minutes. Think about how far you could run in 60.
The radio show is what keeps me from like reputation damage. Okay, I got to go, but we do have some scheduling announcements. Next Tuesday is when we're doing next week's show. So instead of next Friday at 10, next Tuesday at noon, go to youtube.com/Pete the Planner. Just watch live there. You can watch Facebook too, but I don't know. I don't care, honestly. But youtube.com/Pete the Planner, noon on Tuesday. And then the next week, I think we're doing what, 9:30 on a Thursday or something?
Who picked that?
I did.
Oh,
Pete.
Okay. I don't know. Well, you'll have to put your face on a little bit earlier, Dame.
okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Stay getting money.